Hi, welcome to the Crochet Authority podcast, the best and maybe smallest corner of the internet, where three incredibly talented and beautiful women claim to know everything there is to know about fiber arts.
We are Morgan,
Anna,
And Savannah.
three crocheters turned BFFs who consistently have too much to say.
consider this a glimpse into not only our conversations, but our overflowing and powerful minds. From our group chat to your ears, welcome to the pod.
Hi.
Welcome back.
We're back. What's
As
up, everybody?
It's us again. Not much.
Okay,
What's up with you,
Not
Morgie?
much.
not much.
Okay.
I mean, lots,
Okay.
Cool,
but
moving on.
also not much.
Yeah, that's real. That is very real. It's like I feel like I have so much going on at all times, yet I'm like, there's really nothing I want to get into. You don't need to know it. It's okay.
I guess this counts as what we talk about usually. So I have a tester call that's closing tomorrow, and so I have to reach out to all the new testers for the Joseph set. I'm also planning on sending the patterns out Friday. I am also planning on posting a pattern and tutorial on Thursday that I have not started yet.
Hey,
Oh.
Morgan.
What?
Why?
What? How?
So
How?
Yes.
We'll see what
Maybe
happens.
don't do that.
like it's not hard. Like the pattern is not hard. It's a rectangle,
Yeah, okay.
so it's
but
fine.
still,
It shouldn't take me
it's still
very long.
tutorial.
Yeah, I'm not gonna make a whole thing in the tutorial. I'm just gonna do like a smaller sample of it.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair.
But
But still. Your work ethic, whenever
That's
you really
ambitious.
get into it, knows no bounds.
so we'll see what happens.
True. Morgan either does
0.
so much, like actually like can write like a whole pattern, grade it and everything in a sitting,
hmm
or we have to like beg her to like pick up a project.
One day the burst of inspiration for the object that shall not be named will come, and that day will be
Enough.
the best day of my life. The best day of my life.
Better than graduation,
Better than a
than your wedding.
Better than
Then
I could
that'll
make
be your wedding
$10,000
gift.
in one day from Etsy, and this would be better. If it's not my wedding gift now, what are you gonna do? Literally, what else do I want?
I
Nothing.
guess that's fair enough. All right, so I guess you're just gonna have to get married.
Come on, get on it.
yeah.
Anyways,
Damn.
so no, not that.
No.
But yeah, that's
Okay.
what I have going on this week. So we'll see. I don't have plans this week, so
Real.
I'm just gonna be working all day every day, which is
So,
fine. But
That's
yeah,
fun.
Mm-hmm.
At least it's something to do.
so that's
true.
me.
Savannah, what's up?
Literally nothing at all.
Okay, cool.
I was thinking. I was thinking last night. I was like, okay, what are we gonna talk about tomorrow? And then I was like, I am deeply embarrassed that I haven't finished the cat blanket pattern since we last recorded,
Happens.
and I need to be able to tell them something that I've done something. So I worked on it this morning.
Oh, good for you.
Thank you.
Embarrassment
Thank you.
really does.
It
does
gets you
drive
somewhere.
One was okay. I was scrolling on TikTok before, and I saw Stitched by Emma, like one of her TikToks, and she was talking about something, and how like she was like, nothing will deter me quite like being cringe,
Yes. Yeah.
and like that's that same energy. It's like nothing will get me motivated more than embarrassment.
Yes.
I will do a better job, so I'm not humiliated.
Yes.
That's so
Embarrassment,
real.
disappointment, any of those.
Yes.
Just the thought of them possibly existing. Like, you guys probably could not care less. This is my pattern. This is not like... I would be like, I haven't worked on it, and you'd be like, real. but,
Me neither.
Cool.
but it's the threat. It's creating these caricatures of you guys in my
Yeah.
mind.
Like-
That...
We're really mean. We're actually so mean behind the camera.
I mean, yeah, that's not wrong.
We're not far off, actually. We are sometimes a little mean to one another, and by little I mean a lot.
but it's healthy.
We
It's
finished
healthy
stuff.
and good.
Yeah, it's
Well,
okay.
here we are.
But yeah, that's about maybe halfway done now. It is just like
Okay.
legitimately logistically hard to figure out. Like I bought like 2 other blanket patterns that I will literally probably never use, just to like see how they write it and how they categorize these things, because I'm so familiar with wearables and wearable patterns, but blankets are a lot different, and I want to be able to explain it in like a good and concise way. Yeah, so still working on that. Mostly still hanging out with my friends. We go to the pool and we play. Have you guys ever heard of the game Ticket to Ride? No,
No.
neither
No.
had I. Yeah.
Wait,
Um,
I think I have.
yeah, it's like trains and stuff.
I might have heard of it. I don't know.
Okay. Well, you like make trains like across a map. We have the America edition.
Naturally.
We've been playing a lot of that. I have not won a single game, which frustrates me to no end.
Sucks
But
for
maybe
you.
by the time this episode is out, that will be a lie. Hopefully.
I
Well.
hope.
But yeah, that's all I've been doing. Just thinking about the cap linking patterns and being like, I don't want to think about that. Does anyone want to play Ticket to Ride? And that's how most of my days go.
Wow.
That's real.
Wow.
That is very real, actually. It's just like it's the post finishing college, like, I'm exhausted, I can't do anything.
Yeah.
So
I
I'm
just
not
want to sit here
gonna
and stare at a wall for 3 hours.
Let's just play a game.
Yeah.
Who wants to play
Yeah.
a game?
Who wants to play
Yeah.
a game? Let's play a mindless board game.
I've been running consistently for 16 years. Someone please just play this board game with me.
Yes.
Please. Yeah, that's real.
Anna,
You'll
What
finish
about
it.
you, Anna?
what are you up to?
It's my last week of classes, which is crazy.
So serve.
I feel like I was just trying to figure out if I was going to go back to school. So the fact
Yeah.
that I'm done with my first quarter, each quarter is only 10 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So,
That's still a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is still a lot. It's close to a traditional like 15-week semester,
Sure.
which I would have in undergrad, but it's obviously it's like you do that much work in 10 weeks.
Yeah.
It's a lot. I'm like really exhausted. And if I'm being #honest and transparent, it's like really like taking a toll on me, like
Yeah.
doing all that and then trying to maintain, like, I obviously work like a job. I try to do my crocheting and knitting as a job, like between the two part-times and then school. It's just like I've definitely been doing too much and not taking enough like meaningful breaks. So I have about 4 weeks off. I have stuff
good.
going on in that time, but
Yeah.
it's like good stuff. It's fun stuff, and I'm gonna make my my biggest goal is to like learn how to like actually take a break. Like,
Really?
and it's crazy, and it's like
Whoa.
it feels so stupid, but I feel like a lot of people actually understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
and
That makes
it's
sense.
just hard to. I don't know. I'm like sick of feeling so defeated and down and sad. And I'm like, at some point, I just need to be the one to pick myself back up. So I'm like going to take this break to like establish healthy routines, I think. Or at least that's the goal, to get myself started. Obviously,
Yeah.
not everything's going to be fixed in a 4-week break as much as I would hope.
Mm-hmm.
As hard as you
But-
can try.
Yeah, it's been kicking my butt like big time. I'm enjoying it, but it's a lot of work. I haven't done a ton of crochet and knitting. I talked last episode about how I couldn't remember the last time I finished a project. I did finish a top. I did.
You did.
I sent you guys the picture. It's like
Yeah.
very
and
open
cream.
crochet. Yes.
Very
so
much
it's like
coastal.
yeah. I'm loving. I just love the whole like coastal grandmother type look.
Yeah.
Because I like
Yeah.
dressing like a little grandma. So
Yeah.
it came out exactly how I wanted. The goal is to write a pattern. So hopefully I will get that done over the
It's a
next
good
couple
goal.
weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I
You
think
can
it's a
definitely do
pretty basic pattern.
Mm-hmm.
Shouldn't be too hard.
Yeah.
I have a big project that I'm working on that I haven't touched in like a week and a half.
LOL. LOL.
You guys know what it is.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, it's nowhere close to being done, guys. Woo!
And
The
that's
content is going to be so good.
okay.
Nothing better than me giving myself not nearly enough time
No.
and
Real.
still completing the goal. And I will
Real.
complete it. There's
Yeah.
Yes, you
there's no way in hell that
You
I'm
can-
going to
yeah.
not have this finished.
Yeah.
I have to.
You have to.
So, by the grace of God, or whatever, I will have this done. I don't
Yes, you
know.
will.
Just, I've been so busy with, like, school and work,
School.
and my cousin's getting married in a couple weeks, so I went on a bachelorette trip, which was
That's
very
cute.
fun. Like, it's all very fun stuff.
Yeah.
It's stuff that I'm enjoying. It's just my girlfriend came to visit. Like, so
Mhm.
good stuff. It's just
Yeah.
so
A
much
lot. Yeah.
all the time, guys.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And then also having a crisis because I'm, just me.
Real.
Because why
True.
would I be normal?
Nah.
I don't know.
Too
Those
easy.
are my vibes recently, just like chaotic and anxious and overworked.
Love.
Pretty typical.
Baseline.
Too easy.
Baseline, living with a little bit of fear at all times.
Consistently.
That's good for you and your body,
anxious.
I hear.
Yeah. Oh,
yes.
Fantastic. Actually.
I'm doing well. Doing really well.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I did also, you saying your bachelorette trip reminded me, I was like, what have I been doing? I went to Chicago for
yes.
over 5 days. I don't remember.
Cool.
It was Sunday to Thursday, so however many days you get to count as that. It is a 4-hour drive from where I am.
It's not bad.
Love that. Not too terrible. That's a concrete truck passing. Bye-bye. That's the same one I thought I saw earlier. Lots of concrete in Bloomington these days. Anyways.
Building. Paving.
Building. We're expanding.
The Industrial Revolution is
the urbanization of Bloomington, Indiana.
Yes!
Yes! Anyway, Chicago is great as well. It's lovely. It's not expensive. We made it expensive. The Margaritaville at Navy Pier will remember us forever. Was it maybe the worst Margaritaville location I've ever been to? Yes.
Yeah.
Is that half the fun? Yes. Did our waiter give me free fries because he seemed disappointed that I didn't want to buy them myself? Yes. Did I have the worst chicken tenders of my life? Yes.
Yeah. The vibes at a Margaritaville are just always rancid, and I do want to go back.
I can honestly say I've never been.
Okay, well, we'll add that to the list.
To our list.
We're gonna do once you
the great American experience.
Yes.
A Baja Blast.
Yes.
Olive
Craft
Garden.
dinner. Olive Garden, Margaritaville. Well, when my friends and I went to Margaritaville during senior week, one of my friends has celiacs.
Yeah.
She asked, she had to send her food back 3 times because she was she laid out explicitly what they needed to do. She made it so easy for them. Be like, please, all I want is a piece of chicken on a gluten-free bun, nothing else on this plate, and it still came out with fries. And she was like, I'm just gonna deal with this. But then they gave us free shots.
Oh,
so,
well, hello. That's what our waiter said. We did a round of shots. It was us and 2 other 40-year-old men attending this Margaritaville.
Obviously.
He was like, "Oh, the shots
empty.
are." We asked how much they were. Obviously, we're not about to get scammed. And he was like, "Oh, they're $3." We were like, "Great." We get the bill. Shots. We took 3 of them. Shots. $33.
No.
$11 for a shot, and a regular drink was $15. What are we doing? What just happened? Why are we?
That's the thing. That's another thing. Margaritaville is ungodly expensive.
Yeah.
One of my other friends, when we went that same trip, lots happened in about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
The Margaritaville podcast. This is what this is becoming. She got an appetizer, a drink, and that might have been it. I don't even think she I think that was kind of it. It was $50.
Brother.
What are we doing? What are we doing? Jimmy Buffett would not have wanted this.
No, he would not. Make it cheaper in his honor.
That's
he would have
crazy.
loved to fight inflation. That is,
For margarita mix blended with ice and tequila, that is just
shameless. Whatever.
So what else did you do in Chicago?
That was it.
We went
Margaritaville every night.
Can you imagine? We went to the American Girl Doll Cafe as well. Obvi. That was cheaper than I expected.
You're trying to be me so bad. That day that we went to Margaritaville earlier, it was a double feature. We went to the American Girl Doll Cafe. I'm dead ass. We had a double feature day. We made that was our graduation dinner as a friend group.
Oh my god.
The American Girl Doll Cafe.
Yeah.
double feature Margaritaville.
That's beautiful. Wow.
Happy senior
We're literally
year.
the same
Perfect.
person.
We
Wow.
really are.
Okay, but it
Anywho,
was
continue.
$27 for unlimited drinks, appetizer. Well, kind of appetizers, kind of hors d'oeuvres. A kind of second appetizer kind of thing. Your entree and a dessert.
Yup.
That
And
is
you get a free
that
little
is
cup
$0.
and like a bow on your doll, and the dolls have seats. It was lovely. It was fantastic. My chocolate milk was just milk mixed with chocolate syrup, which
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting. It is kind of like nice, but I don't know. That was my only complaint. Besides for that, everyone was very, very kind, and there were a lot of. I feel like it's like the thing to do now. There were like a good amount of people in groups like our age just doing that, and also
It's
like
just
little
fun.
girls with their moms.
Yeah.
It's the weekend that we went was Mother's Day weekend.
Uh-huh.
It was really cute seeing like families out, and then it was
Yeah.
just us being like, "We're graduating! Give me a mimosa!"
Oh my god.
That's so
Yeah.
real.
Did you get
That's so fun, though.
the popcorn? The Chicago
popcorn?
mix or whatever it's called?
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Oh
It's like
no.
there's this like one place, I can't remember what it's called, but they're like famous
Yeah.
for it. And I think it's like cheddar flavor and caramel
Oh, that sounds familiar. Yeah. No, I've had that
together.
kind of popcorn before. Yeah. No, we had deep dish pizza, which you're supposed to have there, and hot dogs. Hot dogs, so good. Love a hot dog. So glad I'm not a vegetarian anymore. Life's good.
Hot dog, so good.
Hot
The
dog,
pull
so
quote
good.
from this episode.
I can't wait for the reel.
Etsy. Hot dog, so good.
Hey guys, check out our new Etsy at the Crochet Authority on Etsy. We're gonna sell t-shirts. Hot dog.
Hot dog,
So good.
So good.
What can the girls say? They were good. They were good.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any. Oh, we went to the Sears Tower called the Willis Tower, but no one calls it that. Very tall. I went there when I was like 11, when I was younger, like a decade or so ago. So it was cute. I don't remember it from that time. So there's nothing real for a point of comparison, but they give you, so there's like 5 different boxes, like boxes of glass that hang off the side of the tower. And they give you 90 seconds for your entire group to get pictures. And you've waited in this line for like 20, 30 minutes.
So you, because I've seen the pictures, not to spoil, in that time took a group photo normally, obviously, and then sat down and whipped out a deck of cards fast enough to fake playing a game of cards in 90 seconds?
No, we didn't. That's the issue.
You should have lied.
Our first guy was like, so we asked him to take a group photo of us, because we were watching people, and we were like, okay, they aren't like actually sticking to the 90 seconds. Like they go a few over, like totally fine. It's like people, like their families and stuff, so they don't want to like get yelled at. We get like all the way on the far end to a guy that we have not been able to watch. We're like, hey, can you take a photo of us? And so he gets all these different angles. It's a lot of fun. Then he's like, okay, 45 seconds left, and we're like, oh, okay, because we all want like individual photos. We were like, we want to take a picture playing cards. And we all want like pictures with our legs up on the whatever. So we did not have enough time. We were so freaked out, so we had to go back through a second time, and we were very strategic. And that's when we got to play cards. The guy working that one was like, I've seen a lot of poses, but that one's a new one. We were like, yeah. We can't be the first to have played
That
cards,
is so funny.
but we just had like cards. We were playing cards all day because, I mean, there's stuff to do, but we're also cheapskates. So we would just like go to like a public park and be like, how beautiful this park is. Let us play cards in it. Bean. No, the Bean was under construction. Isn't that
Yeah,
so
what's up
sad?
with that?
I don't know. My friend, they have like a whole barricade around it, and he took a picture of his hand on it, and it was like, barricade for Bean, which I thought was very funny.
It's pretty funny.
That's really funny.
But yeah, that was Chicago. That was
Did you
way
feel
longer
it?
than I expected. What did I what?
When I'm
Did you feel
back
it?
in Chicago,
Yes.
I feel it.
There was another version of me. I was in it. For sure.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad for you.
Is that
That's so
a
fun.
storm?
No, it's a car.
Oh, they sound like
Can they
Shut
keep
up.
it down? What the heck?
Why have you been driving past my house for 3 minutes?
They want to be featured on the Crochet Authority.
Oh my
I don't blame them.
god, shut up.
You guessed.
Real.
Well, that's
anyway, 20 minutes into the
Nice.
episode. Are we ready
No,
to talk
for
about
real.
our topic?
I guess.
Maybe Etsy.
Etsy. Thrilling.
We did want to start off by saying, Etsy, if you're watching, we love you, actually. And everything that we're about to say is a bit. It's a funny
It's not
joke.
real.
For legal
And
reasons, this is a
there's
joke.
lots of laughter and love involved.
Please give us more traffic
Yeah.
and therefore
if you
more sales.
If you want to, like, sponsor...
Yeah, if you want to
pod?
sponsor, if you want to, like,
Yeah.
double our sales, maybe triple,
We're easily
quadruple.
swayable.
Yeah, we'll take down the episode
We
real
can
fast.
be bought.
We can.
We
Can be bought.
We are all poor.
Yeah. We have no moral compass,
We
okay?
need money.
Please.
Yes.
Anyways.
But we did actually want to be like, Etsy can be good. Anna, you wanted to, the mission statement
Yes.
that they have?
Yeah, so when we were kind of putting together the outline, there are a lot of things that, like, Etsy can be critiqued on. I don't think, like, whether you are a user of it, as in, like, that's where you go to buy your patterns, or you've bought, you know, stuff from artists on there, or you sell stuff yourself in any kind of capacity, you probably understand that Etsy is not the platform that it once was, and it's not a great platform for a lot of reasons, but we did want to, like, start by saying that, like, we all use Etsy, and there still are benefits to it. Like, I have my own website now whenever I do sell physical things, but I started on Etsy because it is a great place for people who don't have a big following to get a lot of eyes on them.
Mm-hmm.
So we just thought it was interesting that that's still kind of the message that they're selling, but that's not really the platform that exists, like, in the same way. So the mission statement for Etsy states that our mission is to reimagine commerce in a way that builds a more fulfilling and lasting world. We are building a human, authentic, and community-centric global and local marketplace. And
Which
we
is
just...
so far from the truth.
And so it's like the recognizing that that might have been where they started, but it is certainly not where they are now. So while we do recognize that Etsy is a good place to start, and honestly, I was saying to them before the podcast started that, like, I would genuinely never recommend to anybody unless you got a lot of success right off the bat and people would be able to gravitate to your own domain easily and often. Like, unless that is, like, happening, and I think that's, like, a very small percentage of the time, starting on Etsy is a great place to start. But it is important to know that, like, you know, not all that glitters is gold. And while Etsy markets itself in this particular way, it's not really that anymore. And we have a lot to say on that. But
yes.
It's mainly, like, leading off with, we're going to critique the platform a lot, but we also do recognize that it's like, this is probably a good place to start. We all do use it, and there are definite pros. We're just focusing more on, like, the areas that we think
It's
can be
constructive
improved
criticism.
upon. Yes.
Yeah. Like, it is a good place to start.
Also
for
a little
small
bit of
business.
complaining.
Yeah, only a little bit.
That's the theme of this podcast. Come on now. Come on. Yeah, but I mainly thought that, like, the mission statement was really interesting because there's a lot of things in it that I just don't think that they actually align with anymore. Like,
No.
We are building a human, authentic, and community-centric global and local marketplace.
Human, first of all. That is important.
Human is crazy. Yeah.
Isn't it?
So, anyways, that's kind of like the baseline, I guess.
Yeah.
The starting point.
The
Just
starting
what Etsy
point.
claims to be versus our actual experience of them, and I think most users' experience of them. Because they are, I think, like you said, Anna, like, it's a good place to start. You do not want to start with your own website right off the bat. Probably Etsy does bring in a lot of traffic. I think on an average month, they bring in, like, around, like, 40% of the visits to my shop and everything, which is pretty good. Like, that's great. It's obviously a lot more than I would, like, normally have without them, I guess. But with that, there's a lot of things that go along with that. I want to start off talking about their fees, I think, because that's just the most preposterous, most blatant, like, example.
That's
of
what people talk about the most.
Yeah.
It really is. There's a fee. While you guys talk, I'm gonna open up my Etsy.
Yeah.
so I can
I
kind of break down.
wanted, yeah, to calculate how much, like, how many fees they take from one $8 pattern sale. But I was looking at it from when I first started on Etsy. I first started in, I think, August of 2021. And obviously it's June of 2024 now. And whenever the Flower Alls pattern first released, I think I made around, I don't know, one of those months in 2021, I made like $600 a month, which is great and fantastic. And I think they took around $50 in fees. It was either like $40 or $50. And more recently, I also made $600 in a month. And
Okay,
they took
brag.
like nearly $100 in fees. Just a wild difference,
Sorry.
nearly double.
Tune in for 2 seconds. Flex that you made $600 a month. I sold one pattern, maybe two last month, and I was like, people are looking. Anyways.
Yeah, no, it's great, and I appreciate the traffic they bring, so that can happen. But those fees also add up in terms of the offsite ads that they basically force you to opt into. Well, they will advertise your pattern on other places, just like I don't know, those Google ads you get on the side of literally every website ever. So if someone clicks on that and then buys it within 30 days, Etsy takes another fee off the top of the ones they already take off of every sale you make, regardless of if they brought the traffic or not. It's just a lot. It adds up fast.
Speaking of fees, Etsy does this fun thing where they charge tax on the fee that they charge you.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know if it's just like a Canadian thing where they like charge
Yeah.
HST on top of what they've already charged you as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll like charge you for like a renewal, like the listing renewal or whatever, and then they'll charge you tax as well.
I don't think
on top
I
of
get
that.
Yeah.
I think it's a Canadian thing.
I think you're right.
So
That's
that already goes
weird.
against the global marketplace.
Something like that. But yeah, they
do.
Another thing that they do is they make it really difficult to understand what they're taking from you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like tax on seller fee is what comes up. But like I saw a while ago when I was like looking through my finances and whatever, it was like they were like taxing on fees that they were taking for it. Stop doing that.
I was also gonna say it's like a little bit convoluted. I've mentioned this multiple times. I don't make a lot from pattern sales. I have my patterns out, and when they sell, I get excited about them, but I don't really promote it a lot. Like, it's just not big for me. So I'm not on the Etsy interface a lot, but it just took me like a very long time, I feel like, to find where like my payout window is and to actually see the breakdown of like what my fees actually were and like meant. And like I finally did find it, and so from April I made $30 in sales, and I had $4.46 in fees, those being listing fees. So every single time we could speak mostly to digital downloads.
Yeah.
But even like this can go the same way for stickers. Essentially what happens is, if you aren't familiar, you can put that you have indefinite copies of your pattern. They just make you put a number. So let's say you do 100 and then someone buys it. It technically, without doing it, but behind the scenes, goes quote unquote out of stock and then restocked, and Etsy just does it for you. You can also have the option to like restock it yourself, but a lot of the times for digital downloads, it's easier to just like have Etsy redo it for you. But every time it is technically being relisted because it was sold out and came back, you get a fee for that.
Yep.
It's like a 20 cent, 30, whatever it is, relisting fee. So hypothetically, like technically every single time something sells, it is getting relisted. That is a fee. Then you have transaction fees. Then you have processing fees. And I think one of you mentioned as I was looking that if you opt into Etsy's marketing, which can be very helpful, that is another fee if you drive traffic and then a sale from them promoting it off site. And if you reach a certain, like, obviously number of sales in a month, Etsy doesn't even give you the option to opt out of that. You have to be into it, and then you have to deal with the fees. They don't give you another choice. So it's just like you have no choice but to pay all these things because it's all automated. It's ridiculous.
Let me go through a sale that I made before.
Yeah.
So we have the processing fee, which is 3% of the order total plus 25 cents.
Yeah.
Sales tax fine, that doesn't matter. Transaction fee, 6.5%. Fee for sale made through offsite ads, 12%. Tax on the transaction fee, which I was talking about before, which is HST, which is Canadian. Tax on the offsite ads fee. Again, tax on the processing fee.
What?
So
I don't think we get the tax ones. That's ridiculous.
What do you list for that transaction? What was the pattern listed at, and what's your payout?
I don't actually know. Okay. So the person paid $8.39.
Okay.
With including tax, because they're Canadian, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So $8.39. Does someone want to do the math?
Yes. Let me get my calculator. $8.39, and this is Canadian dollars.
Yes.
$8.39. Okay.
Minus 50 cents.
Minus 50 cents. Jesus.
Minus
8 minus 0.5. Okay.
Minus 0.44.
0.44. Okay.
Minus 0.52.
Okay.
Minus 0.95.
Okay.
Minus 0.07.
Okay.
Minus 0.12.
Okay.
Minus 0.07.
Ooh, so
You
off
just kept
of
going.
off of so out of $8.39, you got $5.72. 8.39 minus 5.72. Folks, that is $2.67 in fees. So if you make 10 sales, you lose $26.
And that's not a lot. 10 sales
No.
is like for people who like write patterns and like honestly, Savannah, like you would be a good example of this. You have a lot of
The
individual
quantity
patterns out
is,
on Etsy. Like you like people will buy a couple patterns from you. You've made a significant amount. The amount of fees that Etsy is taking for really not doing
They
like
don't do
doing nothing
anything.
but being like a platform. Like
Yes.
you're the
Yeah.
ones, if you don't use the right buzzwords, you're not going to show up in search. There's too many people. If
Yep.
you don't have an audience in some way to help push it, like Etsy will do some of the work, but you really have to you it's not like you could just slack off and not do anything.
Yeah. And
You
this
know?
is why my prices are higher on Etsy.
Yeah.
Same.
But like
I was going to say that.
the taxes on the fees are absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
It's
Literally, why? Like, why are they charging you for charging you?
because they have to pay tax, and so they don't want to take it out of their charge that they already
Lord
fucking
forbid they
charged
pay
me.
an extra $1, if that.
That's
Anyways.
crazy.
Yeah, I think the one that annoys me the most is the listing fee. That as if it like takes any effort on their end to not like the 20 cents. Okay, does it cost your company more than 1 cent to renew the listing? No, it doesn't. The listing just stays up. It never goes down. There's never like a even millisecond period after the sale where it's temporarily out of stock. Whenever you make a digital download, you decide how in stock it is, and it can be up to 1,000. So normally you put it at 999 or whatever.
Yeah.
So then whenever you make a sale, there's no reason for it to, if it only kept it at like, you could only have one in stock, then yeah, it would be valid for you to have to like relist it every time. But that's not a thing. It's just another way for them to be like, oh, it's so hard for our platform to be able to handle all of this. It's not. You're a huge company. What are you doing?
Yeah.
But alas.
I'm looking on Shopify right now to try to see. So I don't have the breakdown in terms of like, I'm going to assume that for Shopify, it's just one fee, like to the platform. Cause I can't, there might be a way to see it that I can't find right now, but my Oopsie Daisy purse I sell for $5. My payout is $4.55. That's 45 cents off. It's not bad. Like you kind of expect that anywhere that is hosting your content of any variety, like if you're selling something, they're going to take a cut of it. Like YouTube,
Yeah.
like with AdSense, you only make like, let's say like 30% of your, like you only make a couple of cents per ad.
Yeah.
The rest goes back to YouTube, which goes back to Google, right?
Yeah.
So anytime you make money from a platform, the platform is taking some of it. Our grievance is more the fact that Etsy like is charging tax on a fee that they're charging on a seller who is a small business who they're looking to uplift, as we write in their mission statement, yet they're too greedy to take the money out of their own pockets. They're just going to keep taking it out of people like Morgan's, who it's like, at what point do you get, like, in my opinion, you're just driving people off of your platform.
Yeah.
You don't want them there.
Yeah. I was going to say, like, let's think through this as a business. Let's think through, like, what kind of seller this incentivizes to stay on your platform. Obviously, only people who make, like, a good amount of sales are going to want to stay on your platform and continue to only have good things to say about it, because they're making so much that the fees are probably just, like, I don't know. They're probably still relevant if you're making a ton of money, but they're not as relevant as they would be. Go ahead.
I think it's also important to mention that those big people probably have gotten noticed by Etsy, at least some of them.
Yeah.
Etsy collaborates with them, and I guarantee that they have a fee cut.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
when you work with companies and you promise, because those big creators are making Etsy their money for a lot of different reasons, Etsy will incentivize them to stay by cutting their fees. So they are automatically, like, it's great for them, but something to consider.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, these mass amount of sales, likely of products you can, and also who are the people making these mass amount of sales in small businesses? Small businesses, ideally, if it's just one or two people working, that's not what a small business has to be. But they aren't like manufacturing like tens of thousands of things a day. They aren't even like 1,000 things a day. The digital downloads, maybe you can do that, but I don't know a single crochet pattern designer who's selling like 1,000 patterns a day. But who is able to make like who's able to make like a mass amount of sales, but also make a mass amount of things to sell? It's going to be drop shippers. It's going to be people who aren't actually making anything, that aren't actually a small business or real people. It's people that buy stuff on AliExpress for $2 and sell it on Etsy for $30. So the fees literally do not matter for them. It's all profit. Anything that Etsy takes out, that's okay. I'm still making like a 2,000% profit on this. Like, it's ridiculous. They know they're incentivizing it. Anyone who like has any sort of business knowledge can understand, can walk through the process of like, what are these new rules we're setting up? How are they going to affect like the people that try to use our platform to engage in our marketplace, our global marketplace, and they know what they're doing. Like, I think Anna, you had like a story about looking for jewelry on Etsy recently.
I do. So as I mentioned, I have a wedding coming up, and because of that, I'm like, okay, I'll get a new pair of earrings, because I like jewelry, I always wear it, but I don't have like a large selection of stuff, and I'll go to Target sometimes and poke around what they have, but I'm like, if I want something like a little more specific, I feel like if I'm going to shop online, I would like to look at Etsy. I also am a firm believer myself in like investing in pieces and buying less often. Granted, that sometimes can't happen when you're a 22-year-old who works part-time. You know, and wears gold jewelry. Like, I don't really have $3,000 to drop on a necklace all the time. So Target is great, right? But I'm like, if I want to spend a little bit more, I'm going to go to a place like Etsy, is my point. So I'm looking, and there are hundreds, if not thousands, of beautiful photos of jewelry on that platform. There are so many gorgeous pieces. But I'm going to look for the name of the video in a second, just because I think it's an interesting watch for anyone who's not as familiar with what dropshipping is, just because we can talk about it a little bit, but none of us could really talk about it at length. But honestly, had I not watched this video, I wouldn't have known that these gorgeous, beautiful pictures that I'm seeing are gorgeous and beautiful, not because someone has designed these products and took a wonderful photo and are great at marketing. It is because they can buy things in bulk from AliExpress or Temu or these places that you can get things that look pretty but obviously won't last well, and then upcharge it, and you could just pull photos from the same place. It's like in the video that I watched, the YouTuber like reverse image searched an image that they found on Etsy, and it came up on like a bunch of different platforms. And I didn't do that with what I was looking at because by this point I had seen the video, and so I kind of like knew what to look for.
Yeah.
But it did make it challenging to find someone who was authentic, is my point.
Yeah.
Where it's like,
Yeah.
I did have the knowledge and I did know in some ways what to look out for. But it makes me really sad for people who don't, because you want to go to a place like Etsy to find something homemade because homemade
that's
things
how
are
it's
wonderful.
advertised.
That's how it's advertised. And you can't. It is overrun with the people who, and once again, I'm continually referencing this video that I watched just because this person did such a wonderful job explaining a lot of different like the whole kind of drop shipping thing, what the whole thing is. And if I'm remembering correctly, the YouTuber was referencing these videos that these, I don't know, entrepreneurs, I guess you could call them, like, excuse me, these entrepreneurs were like, oh, you know how you get rich quick? You do the, buy in bulk from the AliExpress, whatever. Like, they talk about this, and they say it's a good way to make money, and it is a good way to make money for them, but it's not obviously good for any of us because we want to go to Etsy because it's marketed to be a place to get authentic homemade goods, and then you can't get it. You see what, like, I don't think that was the most succinct way that I could have explained it, but I think you understand what I'm getting at, that it's like, there are a lot of people who really don't care that they're screwing people over, but it's more frustrating that Etsy doesn't care to investigate it further. And how they would investigate it, that's not for me to figure out. I don't work at Etsy. You know what I mean? But as someone who
like, it's so easy
wants to sell products,
to
you go ahead, Morgan, sorry.
Sorry, like, it's so easy for them to write, I say this, I obviously have no idea what I'm talking about, but I feel like it's quite simple to write some sort of code to recognize, like, if Instagram can recognize when an account is spam, if Twitter can recognize when an account is spam, surely Etsy can do something to recognize when accounts are drop shipping.
Yeah.
Even if it's not perfect, taking the time to investigate to make their platform more enjoyable for the people that it's for. And, like, back to what you were saying, Anna, like, it's exhausting. Even if you know that things are, like, drop shippers, it's a lot of work to go through and have to find someone who isn't.
And for me, I ended up finding a pair of earrings that I think were handmade. At the end of the day, my point isn't, like, I don't need the nicest jewelry ever. Like, that's not my point. It's the fact that it's, like, I was on this listing and I was like, is this crappy, like, $2 earrings that I could have gotten on Amazon? Or is this someone who's just genuinely very great at their craft, makes a beautiful product, sells it for a pretty affordable price, and takes a good picture? Like, and that is crazy to think about. And I am probably in a very slim minority of people who actually can recognize, like, what's happening on that platform. Most normal people who don't sell their stuff in the way that we do in these, like, creative spaces, they just go there because they want to find, like, a genuine gift for someone for their birthday. They don't know that, like, that beautiful necklace isn't handmade. If they're being told that it is, why wouldn't they believe that? And it's, like, really crappy that Etsy allows this stuff to stay on the platform. Because I didn't even think about what, you said, more, and, like, if Twitter can tell that, like, an account is a bot, surely, like, Etsy can figure out a way. They just don't care to because it's more money in their pockets. But the video that I was referencing is by a YouTuber, Gabby Bell. They do a bunch of really great commentary videos. The video is called How Dropshipping Ruined Online Shopping. I think it's a very great watch if anyone's interested in, like, expanding their knowledge on it, because at the end of the day, you might not care that, like, you are buying something crappy. It's just good to know that it's, like, I don't know. Like, maybe you could find it somewhere actually for cheaper. Like, and that's, like, sad to say. It's just frustrating to, like, all of us put in so much time and effort
Yeah.
just to
for
be
Etsy to
pushed
favor
aside.
dropshippers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just looking up, like, I wanted to see if the CEO said anything. Like, they put out, I get emails from them being like, okay, this is going to be like our new business strategy or whatever. And recently they're focusing on being the destination for gifts or whatever.
Oh, I've
Which
seen that.
is, yeah, it's a very clear push. So I was like, okay, has the CEO said anything? So I just searched Etsy CEO dropshipping. The full first page of results are just how to dropship on Etsy. It's not even a statement,
That's
it's
crazy.
just a step-by-step guide of how to do it.
Yeah.
And it is very profitable. Like, I can't
Yeah.
express, it's incredibly low effort, it's incredibly high profit. You just get a system set up, you know some computer guy who can get that set up in like an hour for you, and you will make back whatever you paid him in like a day.
Yeah.
Because Etsy doesn't do, I don't think they have a single measure in place. They could so easily like reverse image search, and if it matches like an image on like 3 different websites, then oh no, you'll get flagged. You'll have to explain
Yeah.
why that is. Just make it, if you are not going to completely eliminate the problem, I don't think the problem can maybe ever be completely eliminated, but you
No.
can at least try to mitigate
Yeah.
it. Something,
And
anything.
the interesting thing with what you were saying is, I think that there's a lot to be weary of with things like AI, with artificial intelligence,
Yeah.
but AI is helpful in some ways.
Yeah.
One of them being it can scan the internet much faster than any human could.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It can scan other platforms for something like a similar photo. Has this photo been used? Yada yada. Obviously, it's not perfect, but
Yeah.
it can be helpful. But it is interesting, um, like how AI has started to impact Etsy. I know, Savannah, you were mentioning some of that to us before.
Yeah. In terms of just like, and I think these drop shippers do it as well. Using AI to make the photos look better. If they've created their own photos, they can just touch it up.
Yeah.
But also, I think we've maybe briefly discussed this before. Crochet AI specifically, disgusting. I was just on Pinterest before this to, I don't know,
So
look at
awful.
some stuff. And maybe it's not super pervasive, but maybe a fourth of the stuff on there that was crochet was AI crochet. And it's just, what? How can you not detect that? How do you not, like, maybe the AI isn't good enough to detect when it is AI, do you know what I mean? Like, but Pinterest should have something in place to be like, this is not a real person. Like, you can't even use this as inspo. There's no real way to make it. You
Yeah.
can't make that in crochet. Like, I look at some of the things sometimes and I'm like, is this physically possible? The answer is usually no. And it's just so, I don't know, it disgusts me in every single way that all of these platforms that are for the human and for creativity and the personal and the individual are doing literally nothing
Nothing.
to
They're being
mitigate.
infiltrated.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah,
Like
they,
I saw someone talking, I don't remember where I saw it, if it was on Instagram or TikTok, and I don't remember who it is, but talking about Etsy listings for like amigurumi patterns
yeah,
with AI photos. Every single photo is AI, and these listings are making thousands of dollars a month selling patterns for who
like
knows
what?
what.
How do you mitigate that? How do you? There
It's
has to be a way.
crazy.
There can't not be a way to mitigate it, but it's, why is no one like, why aren't they saying like, oh, this is a really tough issue and we're like developing a way to like mitigate the stuff so you guys don't get scammed? And I don't know, I feel bad for the thousands, if not tens of thousands, if not millions of people who are on Etsy's platform getting scammed over and over again. Like, I've had the exact same issue where I find something, I think it's cute, even if you know what drop shipping is, like, it doesn't matter. It's still hard to like look for stuff if you don't want to go through the effort of putting every single photo into a search engine. Like,
Yeah.
that's totally fine and totally fair. But I've had the same issue of being like, oh, these are like vintage sunglasses that like you're gonna get, and they have these dimensions, and like I'm like, okay, this seems like a great seller, and it has the like only one left that vintage things usually do. So I'm like, okay, like they're actually vintage. Like, all these things, they're plastic, they're cheap, they break in a week. It's like,
Yeah.
what, how do you, I don't know, there has to be some way to protect the consumer, because all of this is creating much less trust in Etsy. Like, this is the entire reason we're talking about them. Whenever I was first on the platform, I was still like, ooh, fees are a little high and this and that, but I still enjoyed using it as a customer. I still enjoyed, like, they brought a lot of traffic and stuff. But now, I mean, there are so many articles on it. It's like part of the cultural conversation. Like, I see threads on Twitter about it all the time. Trust in the platform is being eroded, and that's going to affect sellers. It's going to affect their baseline. But no, they'll just keep on drop shipping until the day is done, because that's still profitable for them until they don't have as big of a customer base anymore, because everyone realizes that they're only ever going to get these cheap things, because Etsy doesn't care enough.
Yeah.
They just want the money.
Yeah.
Word.
I think that's
Word.
You kind of ate. It's gonna be so interesting seeing like because there will come a point where like platforms like Etsy and Pinterest and whatever actually have to like
crack down,
like pretend like they care, because they clearly don't. Like, obviously, like we've mentioned multiple times, drop shipping is super, like, with the amount of fees that they take from sellers, they will make so much money from drop shippers who can put it up for a high price, make that 2,000%, profit, and Etsy still gets a big fat chunk out of it too.
Yeah.
But there's going to come a day where people become knowledgeable enough about this happening, and then they get mad, and then Etsy has to pretend to care, and it's going to be really funny when that happens, because Etsy is going to pretend like they have been caring about this. I would almost guarantee that they could easily, like, we've come up with, they're probably not very surefire solutions, but they're starts to solutions of what they could be doing, and we haven't discussed this previously. Like, that was just off the cuff. So it's the fact that they just don't care, and that's the frustrating part, where it's like, here's the thing, and maybe this is like my own opinion, and that can be fine, but Etsy can take the huge chunks of fees from me if they actually cared enough about me to promote my product. They don't.
If it was worth it.
Care. They don't care about the small creators and the small businesses that they have built an entire platform on.
Yeah.
They just, at this point, are money hungry and want more money in their pockets, and that's why I get frustrated with them, because it's impossible to... With our category, it is a little bit different than things like jewelry, because while AI is an issue, you can tell that things are AI, so it is a little different than like an actual authentic photo that is just being posted a bunch of times to like drop ship a necklace sort of thing.
Yeah.
But regardless, I still don't feel like Etsy actually like promotes small businesses really at all anymore. Like, when you search something, it's not the small businesses that come up first. It's the less than legit things. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like someone needs to make a different platform. Someone make a competitor, please.
Yes. Yeah.
We will all flock.
We will.
Yeah.
And we will be very happy about it.
And make it good.
Yes.
Anyways.
And I enjoy that it is a platform that isn't just for crochet patterns as well. I feel like that helps with the amount of traffic that you get and things like that.
That's the thing, because there is Ravelry. Yeah. There is Rippler, right?
Yeah.
Like, but that's not everyone knows about it. If you ask,
you have to be
if you ask the average, even the average crocheter, the average knitter, a lot of people will not know what Ravelry is.
Yeah.
Because someone has to tell you about it.
Yes.
Everyone knows what Etsy is. So they're going to like, oh, I'm going to go look on Etsy. Ravelry is great. I love Ravelry. Yeah. But it's still like Etsy has a much bigger reach. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
So they're strategic in marketing, where Ravelry and Rippler are not. And like, I know some platforms want to keep it that way because they don't want it to get so big that it's like out of control. So there is like, that's another reason that it's like maybe Rippler and Ravelry will never be those platforms, and it's like they probably want to keep it that way, and that's perfect. But it's like Etsy makes the effort to market and push, etc., etc. So then it's like hard to compete with them, because they have the millions of dollars that they've taken from us to then push. Like Savannah, like you were saying, like their huge push right now with like the gift thing. I feel like I've seen that everywhere. Yeah. And not that I think that stuff is like a bad idea. I think it's a creative route to go in terms of like giving yourself a unique like selling point. It's just like, I don't know. It's hard to compete with such like such a big company. I don't know. I was gonna say I'm kind of shocked that they don't have like a monopoly on it, but I guess because it's just like an online selling platform, you kind of can't say that they have a monopoly on it because they're also competing with things like Amazon, even though they are vastly different. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just interesting.
I mean, they've made themselves closer to Amazon through the drop shipping. Like, everyone knew them as, like, the vintage handmade marketplace. But if they want to be more like Amazon, go right ahead. Lose all your brands. What do you call that? Brand knowledge, brand trust, whatever.
Brand loyalty.
Brand loyalty, yes.
Yeah.
Like, feel free to burn the ship down. I'm happy for an alternative to rise up.
Yeah, just stand by what you're saying. If you're gonna do it, do it. Don't lie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's all just frustrating. And there's a lot more to complain about, but we're we are yappers till the end of the day.
That we are.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But anyway, what are we watching? What are we reading? Are we reading? Are we listening?
So I got my Percy Jackson book that I didn't finish. I got it back.
Oh yeah, nice.
So I have to finish it this time. But I have just like not been feeling like reading.
Yeah.
Like I just have not been in the mood at all, and I pick it up and I'm
honestly,
like,
same.
So I do have to finish that.
Yeah.
I started and finished Dairy Girls, and I'm so sad.
Yes, so good.
I want to watch it just because I love Nicola.
That show, it's, I'm going to rewatch it 100 times more, easily. It's so good.
It's so good.
It's so good.
It's a perfect balance of literally everything.
It's just so phenomenal. So I'm very sad that it's done, but I guess I just have to start it again.
Oh, oopsie.
I'm watching the Pretty Little Liars reboot show.
I've heard mixed things about it to the point that I want to watch it.
It's like a silly show.
Yeah.
Is it fantastic? No.
No.
Does it do its job? Yes.
Okay.
There you go. That's all you need.
Yeah. What else? I watched Fall Guy.
Oh yeah?
Great.
Okay.
The one person in the world that's watched Fall Guy.
Are you kidding?
It like bombed at the box office.
It did so well at the box office.
No, it didn't.
Did really well.
It did really well.
It was like way underperforming its budget.
It was doing really well, but the problem is that they released it on digital not a month later.
Yeah, that's real stupid.
They could have done so much better. It did really well at the beginning. And then they released it on digital.
150 million at the global box office. Maybe I'm thinking of, I probably saw some Twitter thread that was like, they released it on digital and they're going to make $2.
So I watched that.
I saw one TikTok. I saw one TikTok. I've been reading some articles.
I think I know more than you do, genius.
I've been doing some research.
So I really liked it. I thought it was a very fun movie.
Good.
What else? Last night I went to the 15th anniversary. So it was the 15th anniversary of Spring Awakening opening on the West End. And so they did like a one night only concert. That was last night. It was phenomenal. Oh my god, it was so good.
Do you know that?
It was so good.
I'm so jealous.
It was so amazing.
Anna being close to New York, you being in London. What do I have? What do I have?
You
I
got
need culture.
Cement trucks.
Yeah, you've Bloomington.
You got the Industrial Revolution. You've got
the urbanization.
I have nature. I have friends. I have love.
You have pool. You have the train thing. Ticket to ride.
Yes.
I have purse.
I have purse. Luckily, I have purse.
So that was last night. I have Ethel Kane in 1 week today.
Oh yeah.
Exciting.
So
exciting that you have something already Ethel Kane themed made, so you don't have to make something and start stuff out. I'm so excited.
Yeah. So that's me.
Love.
I think that's it.
The Fall Guy did underperform its first weekend.
Okay. It still did really well.
Yeah, it's doing really well now, despite
you pointing
the
out.
Release. Yeah, there's nothing really to point out there.
Pointing out. Look at it.
Okay, if the light is that way, then you can see a slight line. Anna?
Let's see. I also haven't been in much of a reading mood. I did just pick up How to End a Love Story. I'm forgetting the author's name, but she is a screenwriter who's adapting 2 of the Emily Henry books.
Oh, nice. Ooh. Yeah.
So I have really high hopes for this. Yeah. I'm on chapter 3, and I genuinely really like her writing style so far. Yeah. It's kind of early to tell, but just the way that she's writing is in like a fun, different kind of format, which I like. So I'm hoping that kind of gets me back into a reading kick, just because I really hate spending time on my phone, especially when I'm already sad.
Yeah. Real.
So I would like to, not do that. In terms of watching, I just rewatched Tangled the other day, because nothing will get your spirits in a better mood than some Tangled.
Real.
I've been honestly craving rewatching just Disney stuff.
Yeah.
High School Musical,
Fair.
Lemonade Mouth,
Real.
I don't know, those kind of vibes. I'm warming up to do my yearly reread of The Summer I Turned Pretty. I would like to rewatch the show. I do think it is too deeply personal to me, so I won't. Like, it actually will ruin me. I have an unhealthy attachment to that story. What else? I've been listening to a podcast, I feel like I may have talked about it before, called The Psychology of Your 20s. It's a really lovely podcast. It's this Australian woman, so accent is gorgeous. Love it. She just basically talks about, like, those icky, bad, uncomfortable things that you're feeling in your 20s that you feel like you're the only person feeling. Guess what? You're actually not alone. And here's some psychology to, like, prove to you that, like, you are okay and it will get better, and, like, here are some ways to work through it.
Yeah.
And as someone who is feeling so many feelings about where I am at in life, it is actually so comforting. So
yeah.
I've been listening to those. I've been trying to kind of, like, going back to what I said at the beginning of the episode of, like, doing things more intentionally and, like, taking breaks and, like, taking care of myself. Like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to be more mindful with the content I consume, not, like, mindlessly scroll, but, like, if I'm doing something, like, listen to something that can, like, help me. Not all of the time. You don't want to listen to that stuff nonstop, because, like, then that's also really overwhelming. But I don't know. I'm trying to do, like, a podcast a day type thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's where I'm at. And nothing really has been, like, enthralling me, though. I'm kind of in a lull. I'm in a little life lull.
Watch Dairy Girls.
And that's okay. Yeah.
I do want to. Okay, Bridgerton season 3 part 2 will come out. That'll fix me, and then I'll follow that up with Dairy Girls.
Perfect.
Okay.
Good plan.
Awesome.
I haven't been doing a ton of media consumption, which I didn't think was a sentence I'd ever say in my life. I started Lord of the Flies the other day, because I was never signed to read that in, like, middle school.
Read it.
What?
I was supposed to read it.
Didn't. Real. Yeah, okay, real. It's kind of, I'm like 20 pages in, so I really don't want to form an opinion right now. It's all right. It's nice to see these, like, characters that I've heard of, like, for forever, and actually read about them. Whoa. Outside of that, it's just been a movie here and there. Rewatched Portrait of a Lady on Fire, best movie ever.
Movie.
Watched Talladega Nights.
Random.
That's an American movie. Yeah.
Yep.
Merp random. It's America through and through. It's about racing. I really don't like Will Ferrell, I think. So
really
kind of tough for me. Yeah. Oh, I watched Monty Python last night for the first time, and the Holy Grail. Yeah,
Holy
that
Grail.
one. Yeah. No, it's good. It's good. It's funny.
Not American.
Not American. There are a lot of Letterboxd reviews being like, this is the best humor of all time, and humor has only gone downhill since, and we will never make another movie like this again. Like, okay.
Sure.
Okay, man. It's all gonna be alright. We're gonna be okay. But yeah, that's what I just really I've been chilling. I've been hanging out with my friends. I've been socializing. I've been becoming a well-rounded person. It's a beautiful life.
Okay.
Fine.
Whatever. I don't care.
So that's
Boo.
Yeah, that's what life is, and hopefully the media I will consume will be Google Docs, and I will be making the media of the cat blanket pattern. And I will have you to look over it, because I'm afraid it won't make a lick of sense the way I've explained it, but
Perfect.
I'm sure it's
we'll
fine.
persist. Yeah, I'm sure it's okay, but I just always stress out like this about a pattern for no good reason. All right.
I think we're all ready for bed.
Time.
I know.
Good night.
I'm like sitting in a
Like,
little
bye.
sunbeam. I'm all like sleepy like a cat. Oh my god, and happy Pride!
Oh, happy Pride, BTW. Yay!
I just saw the rainbows that are like on my lap because of the window clings I have, and I go, oh, we forgot to say
wait.
Happy Pride.
Happy Pride.
Happy Pride.
Happy Pride. Okay,
Anyways,
so
now we're done.
Okay.
now we're done. Yes. Okay, well, thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Crochet Authority. If you liked it, which we know you did, make sure to rate it 5 stars and give us the best review possible wherever you can. Also, make sure to stay up to date with us on Instagram and TikTok at the Crochet Authority. Also, follow our personal accounts on social media because we are perfect. Bye.
Bye.